With the advent of social networks, the world had met a new way of communicating and interacting. People that are able to create viral content became rich and famous. There is now a new opportunity: short-form content. Learn how to leverage the power of Leonardo AI to create content, a free AI image generator. In this course, you will get a 360 degrees experience from how AI works to how to use the platform to prompt craft engineering. In the second module, you will learn how to find viral short-form content, understand why it's viral, and how to use the best free editing software, CapCut. You will then watch the creation of 2 videos, the thought process, how to overcome some of the problems that you might face. You will also get access to a pack of 500 plus sound effects and 20 plus overlays in order to get you started with your first creation. This video was created thanks to AI. I'm waiting for you inside. Welcome and thanks for enrolling in this course. Before getting in the information that you will receive in this course, I will tell you about the class project. The class project for this course is to create an AI image with Leonardo AI. You probably don't know yet how to use this tool, but don't worry, in the course I will go over every single feature and how to generate amazing images with this tool. You can choose the subject that you want, whether it's a tree, a landscape, food, whatever you want. Try and tweak it as much as you can and make it as perfect as possible, and submit it as a PNG or a JPEG, whatever you want. I will personally review every single submission and give you feedback. And now let's dive into Stable Diffusion. Welcome to the best course that you will ever watch on AI image generation. It doesn't matter if you're gonna use Leonardo, Midjourney, DALL-E, all the features and tips and tricks that you will learn in this course can be applied to any AI image generation. You will also learn how to use those images and turn them into viral short-form content. Leonardo AI is an extremely powerful tool to create AI art. Now, in which ways is AI art useful in creating viral short-form content? In the second section of the course, I will show you some videos that went viral that you probably even already watched, but you maybe didn't even realize that they were using AI to keep you hooked to the video. So AI art is literally a game changer in the field of short-form content. Instead, when we get to long-form content, video-to-video generation is more used. And I will drop a specific course on this later on, because it's a bit more complicated than AI image generation. But for now, let's stick to this. So the main reason that AI art is awesome is because it allows you, just by writing some words, to get amazing results. Every single image in this presentation, even the background, was created by Leonardo AI. You can literally create everything with Leonardo AI because his images are insanely versatile. So what are neural networks? This is a more advanced concept to understand than all the rest of the concepts that I'll bring to you in this course, but it is essential to understand how AI art in general works. Neural networks are a group of algorithms that allow the image generator to understand his previous generations, his mistakes, and learn from them. This means that every time Leonardo makes an image, he becomes more powerful. He becomes more precise. His knowledge on the subject sharpens. And every image it creates, it improves. And this isn't a feature restricted to Leonardo. This is what every single AI image generator is. Stable Diffusion is the control of every step of the image generation. In fact, the images created with Leonardo are more stable and less creative than, for example, the ones created by Midjourney. Thanks to Stable Diffusion, you can create more precise, realistic, and highly detailed results compared to other AI image generators. because the focus of Stable Diffusions, I'm going to say it once again, is the stability and quality of the image. So in the end, what you get is a neat and clean image result. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Midjourney. Midjourney is like a playful artist, and what that means is that Midjourney approaches generation in a different way. It embraces noise in an image, and by noise, I mean the details and the creative inspiration. All of this is classified as noise, and it works with artistic experimentation. If you have ever used Midjourney, you will know that there is a parameter that is chaos. Chaos allows you to give Midjourney a lot more freedom when it comes to creating your image. And on Leonardo AI, there isn't such a feature. And if you go with high level of chaos on Midjourney, you're going to get a bunch of different results that don't even refer to your image. So that's why Leonardo AI's method is called Stable Diffusion, because it gives you precise results and doesn't give you unwanted ones. Leonardo AI gives a lot of creative freedom. By creative freedom, I mean the tools that Leonardo AI gives you to create your images. You can choose between a number of models that are infinite, because literally the community creates new models every day, and you could train your own models if you wanted to. The models that you find in the platform are literally limitless. Not only that, but you can also add elements that are a new feature added just a couple of weeks ago. And what this feature does is allowing you to select these so-called elements, and these elements will enhance your image if it is part of a certain thematic group. And to make it more simple, there is an element that is called volcano, and if you want to create an image that involves fire, that element is going to enhance that image, make it more coherent, make it more realistic, and make it better overall, because that element specializes exactly on that. Now, there are a lot of diverse art styles. For example, here, I've chosen two that have nothing to do with each other. On the left, we have Goku on an anime prompt, and look at the definition. You can see the pectoral muscles have so much light going on. This is absolutely crazy. And then on the right, we have a portrait of a beautiful female. That was my prompt. Hyper realistic. And you can see how Leonardo AI spaces between styles without any difficulties. I've created another two art styles that don't have anything to do with each other. The last one is an hyper realistic landscape of the Italian Alps. Meanwhile, on the right, we can see a black and white sketch of a kid in the park sitting on a bench. Now, you can see these images are absolutely wild. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, I have an Instagram account where I post daily images. So if you want to take a look at them, or ask me for the prompt in the DMs. I would love you to give it to you. And now we get to innovation. Leonardo AI is evolving right now. And I'm not saying it because, it's a new image generation, of course it's evolving. No. Right now, while recording this course, 2 new updates got dropped. 2. They are dropping updates so consistently, it's insane. I literally had to re-record another lesson because a new feature got added and I didn't add it yet in the course. So when it comes to updates, Leonardo is unmatched. When I started this course, AI Canvas was in alpha. While recording this course, it became a beta feature, and now that I'm releasing it, it just became an actual feature, no longer in alpha or beta. They developed it so much that it got added for everyone to use. And now when we get to future of AI art, this is an interesting part, because AI art, if it's going anywhere, it's just improving. Every day, AI art is getting better and better and more defined, more art styles are getting added, more definition, more features, the refiners, and evolution is actually pretty quick. And when it comes to content creation, if you don't apply AI to your videos, you will definitely fall behind all your competitors. There is no doubt in that. Everyone is adopting AI. It might be only the thumbnail, it might only be 2 images on a long form video. Everyone is adding AI. Because whenever someone sees an image like this on the screen, an AI image, they're like, whoa, there's so much going on. Look at the detail. So to summarize everything, this is how Leonardo AI works. It's in constant development, innovation, updates are dropping constantly, and AI art is the future of content creation. If you're planning on starting to create content, or if you're already creating content, this is something that you need to implement. Otherwise, you will get walked on by your competitors. Now let's see how to actually create an account on Leonardo AI. If you already have an account and you're already logged in, you can skip to the next lesson. Right now, we are on Google Chrome. Of course, you can use the browser you want. So what we do is we type in the search bar, Leonardo AI, and we click on the first link. So this is the interface you're greeted with once you click the link. If you already have an account, you're going to click on Launch App. If you don't, you click on Create an Account. It's as simple as that. Now here, you click on Sign Up. Right here. Oh, look at this beautiful image. So once you're here, you can either log in with Apple, Google, Microsoft, or your email and password. You do you. So once you filled everything in, you click sign up, and it's gonna say, we have sent a code to your email, enter it below to verify your account. So you put it in, and we get into Leonardo AI. It's as easy as that. I will see you in the next lesson where I'm going to explain you all these features in the user interface. In this lesson, you're going to learn everything about the platform of Leonardo AI, how models work, community, all of these functions here, the pricing, and also, if you look down here, there is a logo that is an Apple logo. That's because you can download the application of Leonardo AI directly on your phone or tablet if it is an Apple. Feel free to do that if you want. For these lessons, I will only use the website version, but you can do whatever you like. It works completely fine and it's the same. This is the user interface and home page of Leonardo AI. This is what you find once you log in the browser version of the software. Once we are here, we want to discover what every single one of the features does. So let's get going. The first one is the homepage. In the homepage, you can see the featured models. And you can see if you click on one of them, you're gonna see one of the models that you can use to create images. Each model has different characteristics and each model is unique. If you scroll down, you can see some of the images created with the selected model. Now, this is a particular model because it's photoreal. It just got added to the website and it can create images that are really realistic and really detailed, like this one, for example. As you can see, the little waves here moving around the little world. Now, we can see here there are a lot of models. We can scroll until we reach the end of the supported models right here. If we scroll down, there are the recent creations. These are creations created by the community. You can usually search them up, but it's temporarily disabled. That's fine. Now, what I would like you to do is, as you can see here, you can select all or upscale. It doesn't really matter. What you want to do is look at the filters here. There is trending, new, so the just created images, and top. What you could do is go in the top images and scroll until you find something that you like, for example, this crow. If you click on the image right here, you're gonna see the prompt that they used and the negative prompt. Now, don't get scared by the complexity of these prompts, these brackets, the length. Don't get scared. We're gonna learn how to prompt correctly and with little to no effort using Leonardo AI and ChatGPT later on in the course. But you can still look at some images, look at some cool prompts, and try them out for yourself. Now, once we finish the home page, you can move on the community feed. It is basically what we just found here on the bottom of the homepage. Here we can, again, use the filters and select the one that we like the most. And look, for example, this image, copy the prompt, use it, whatever. Then we have the personal feed. Here you can find all the images that you created in the past. For example, I've tried this mansion using alchemy and a lot of stuff that we're gonna talk about later. And you can see all your recent creations, basically. After that, we have training and datasets. Now, this is a really advanced section. All you're doing here is looking at your datasets and your current ongoing jobs about training a model that is going to create images. We don't really want to do that because, as you can see, there are a lot of models already created by professionals and by the community. So we don't really need to train anything here. Also because if you're trying Leonardo AI on the free version, you're only going to have one try per month. So it's not that great. After that, after training datasets, we have fine-tuned models. Here you can find what we had on the homepage here, but bigger and zoomed in. You can find all the models that we can use. And these are the models supported and created by the platform. But you can also look for community models, so models created by the community, and your models, so the models that you trained in the training and datasets. And also you can check your favorite models. So if you find, for example, a community model that you like, I don't know, this one, you just favorite, clicking here, and you see it in the favorite section. Also, another thing that is worth mentioning is that if you click on any one of these community models, you can see some of the images that were created by the model again, and you can check you whether you like them or not, and if you want to favorite the model or you don't really like it. After we're done with fine-tuned models, we have AI image generation. We are going to get back to this a bit later because there's a bunch of stuff to explain, a lot of functions. So we're gonna skip to AI Canvas. AI Canvas is another tool that we're going to use. It is going to be explained more in detail later. Basically, give you a broad idea. What you do is you put this square outside or inside of an image of your choice. And what you do is you type in a prompt, and the AI is going to give you a bunch of solutions. You can select the number, and you can use them to upscale and make your image bigger. Now, I didn't get good results because I didn't use the right model. Okay, so I used the right model now, and as you can see, the results are way better. Now, I'm going to get later more in detail on why this was the correct model and everything. But before that, let's check also the other section, that is texture generation. In texture generation, you can upload a 3D render, a file that is .obj, and I don't have any, but what Leonardo will do is create a 3D render and a 3D texture of your object. This function is still in alpha and it doesn't work really well, so we're not gonna dive deep into it in this course. And then we have the settings. So we have the profile. Here we have your email on the top, your username, and what are your interests. That is a question that usually Leonardo AI asks when you create an account. And then you have to confirm if you're over 18 or not. I am, so I clicked it. Then we have the FAQ section and help, the logout, and the profile. Now here in the settings, we also have the API. In the API, it tells you how many tokens do you have, when do they reset, and your training tokens, and when do they reset. The training tokens are the ones that you can use in training and datasets again. And then we have account management, where you can delete if you want your account. So this is the pricing structure of Leonardo AI. There is the free deal, that you can use if you're just starting. If you want to get a bit more into AI, I really suggest buying the Apprentice subscription. It's only $12 per 1 month. You can cancel it every time, whenever you want. And meanwhile, on the free plan, you get 150 tokens per day. The tokens are these ones. With 150 tokens, you can do roughly 10 to 15 max images, depending on your resolution. Basically, what you can do is use those 150 tokens, of course. And if you start to really get into AI and you like it, you can move on onto Apprentice. If you're getting really serious, I suggest Artisan. And then, I mean, I don't really see why you would buy the Maestro offer, but if you really need it for special needs or whatever, feel free to do it. There is a discount if you buy the yearly offer, and let's get into the benefits. In the free ones, you have 10 to 15 generations per day, and you can do one job at a time, and you don't have private generations, even though that's not that big of a deal, honestly. On the Apprentice subscription, they have 8.5k tokens per month. That adds up to around 1k images per month, maybe even more, depending on, again, your resolution. And you get basically unlimited upscales and background removals. And if your balance falls below 150, you get your tokens back as in the free plan. If you scroll down, we can see all the details of the offer. Here in the Leonardo fine-tuned models, doesn't really change much. You have the essential Leonardo models, the expanded ones, and the community models in all three offers. What changes is how many models you can train and retain, but that's not something we are really interested in, as we already said, because it's really advanced on how to train a model and make it actually create good images. Meanwhile, the ones created by professionals are way better. Then we have the style consistent generations. Basically, what changes is here you don't have private generations, and here you have relaxed generation queue. That means that your images are going to be created faster than on the plans below. Then we have Leonardo Canvas, and here nothing changes at all. Then we go on the 3D texturing. You don't have access to text-to-texture on the free version, but as we said, it's still in alpha. As you can see, it says coming soon, so we are not really interested in that. And then we have special perks. Now, special perks give early access to new features in, for example, my subscription, and you don't have custom upscaled settings, although there are already 4 upscaling features that are free for everyone in Leonardo AI and are absolutely great. So this is not really needed at all. To summarize, in this lesson we talked about all the features that we can find in Leonardo AI, and now in the next lesson we are going to talk about the AI image generation. This is the core function of Leonardo AI. Welcome to the Leonardo AI image generation tool. Let's go over the first feature. On the top left, you can choose the amount of images that you want to generate per prompt. Keep in mind that the more the images, the more the price is going to increase on the top right. Let's skip these 2 features. We'll get back on them later. Prompt Magic is a tool that will enhance your image no matter what. The only downside of Prompt Magic is the price is going to slightly increase. But with Prompt Magic, you can turn on high contrast that is usually suggested. What Prompt Magic strength does is telling the AI to be loyal to your prompt. Usually, keep it on default at 0.4 or somewhat higher. I don't suggest to go below 0.4. because the image might not look like your prompt. Then we have public images. Public images is a feature that allows you to make your creations either public or private. You can only untoggle this feature if you have bought a monthly subscription. Then we have the image dimensions. Here you can tweak your image dimensions either manually or with presets. Keep in mind that the recommended aspect ratio is written here on the model, but more on that later. Here we have guidance scale. Guidance scale is a feature that is almost necessary to leave it on 7 or 8, that is default. And the reason for that is guidance scale, toggled up or down, measures how much to weight your prompt. And if you put it too low, you're going to get results that don't have nothing to do with your prompt. Meanwhile, if you put it too high, the AI is going to get confused and it might produce image degradation. So I highly suggest to leave this on default. Then we have tiling, that is a feature that I will explain by typing in a prompt. The prompt I chose was black background for decoration, and as you can see, tiling is a really good feature when it comes to repetitive textures and backgrounds. Here, in fact, you can see how the same patterns are repeated over and over in the whole image. Next feature is image to image. What you can do is import an image that will modify your final result. I'll put the strength of the image low and enter my prompt. As you can see, it influenced the final image by giving these colors. In the original image, the white was on the left and the darker colors were on the right. So probably the input strength was still too much. But look at the results with 0.5 input strength. As you can see, it was 0.5 and it was exactly the same thing. So keep it low. Otherwise, you won't get good results at all. Here are the models. Every model requires a different aspect ratio. For example, isometric fantasy requires 1:1. Now, which models are the best? Most of the models focus on providing a certain style. Isometric fantasy, for example, focuses on giving isometric views, as you can see from these beautiful images of a mansion. My prompt was really simple. Meanwhile, TrainShaper V7 is a model that is good overall on basically every image. And then we have Stable Diffusion 1.5 and 2.1 that give extremely good images and don't require a specific aspect ratio. So you can choose whatever you want. Look at these beautiful images. My prompt was literally only Lamborghini Aventador, and I got these absolutely crazy images. Another really good model is Photoreal that you can activate clicking here. Photoreal gives you 4 options when it comes to the style. The absolute best ones are cinematic and vibrant. You can also decide if you want your depth of field low or high. Low depth of field gives you this blurry image right around your subject, and that's what I usually prefer in a portrait. Meanwhile, a higher depth of field gives you less blur around the subject. Now, the prompt that I used was actually Elon Musk portrait in Times Square, nothing crazy. As you can see in the cinematic versions, Elon Musk is, for example, looking away, as you see in movies. And then we also have the vibrant variations. These variations, as you can see, give more freedom to the colors of Leonardo. We can see black and red and white, black, yellow, and red. Before talking about the latest models that use Alchemy v2, let's talk about Alchemy. Whenever you're using Alchemy, your image gets better every time. In Prompt Magic, Instead of using the version 2, that is less powerful, you can use the version 3. It gives the AI a better way of understanding your prompt and recreating it correctly. We also have the option for high resolution. Even though I don't suggest this at all, it will increase the credit price by a lot, and there is no need, since while using Alchemy, your image already gets a free 1.5 times upscale. Then we have contrast boost and resonance. Contrast boost is the amount of color contrast in an image. Usually, this should be all the way up, unless you're going for images that are dark, for example, dark landscapes, night landscapes, and so on. Meanwhile, resonance is the amount of detail that is in an image, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples for this. For the prompt, let's go with a randomly generated one from Leonardo. The prompt that Leonardo gave isn't necessarily a good one because it's extremely long and I didn't even add a negative prompt. I don't expect the best results, but let's see what we got. The prompts talk about a smiling deity that is in the space. The colors that it suggests are golden and yellow in general. Starting off with 2 resonance, we have this face that I don't really know what it is. Background is pretty cool, but overall the creation of the main subject wasn't good at all. And same here. Meanwhile, on 15 resonance, even though we got 3 that weren't too good results, here we got a pretty good one. The only slight mistake is the top of the head. So what we are going to do is click this function right here, that is the Alchemy Refiner. And this refiner will allow me to refine the mistakes made by the AI. I will set the strength on high and smooth mode on. The strength is high because the mistake was pretty big. Smooth mode impacts fine details and should allow me to get a better image overall. And would you look at that? We got a way better detail here. The background is more blurry, the crown is extremely better, and the top here is absolutely fantastic. Even these parts here got enhanced a lot. These are the results with 30 resonance. As you can see, they're not the best. The main subject is levitating in the sky. You can't understand if it's a male or a female, for example. The planets and the stars in the background don't really fit well with the image. And this overall doesn't look that great. That's why I usually suggest to go with a resonance on default settings. How do these last 2 models work? Leonardo Vision XL and Leonardo Diffusion XL. Well, let me tell you, they are different than all the other models because they use this new feature called Alchemy V2. This is Alchemy to the next level. I've tried them personally for a bit, trying to create some images for my Instagram that I will post. And here is what I got. By using Leonardo Vision XL, it gives you creative results. And they're not the best either. As you can see here, for example, the glass of beer is inside the pizza. Same here. Here it's hidden by the pizza. And this image, I don't really know what this is. If we scroll down, we have some really good results. The definition of this pizza is really, really good. You can see the burned parts from the crust and the cheese that is melted. This is a really good result as well that I got with a good looking pizza and a good glass of beer. This is easily one of the best models of whole Leonardo, don't get me wrong. But the other model, Leonardo Diffusion XL, is on another level. This is one of the images that I got from Leonardo Diffusion XL. Look at this pizza with sausage and tomatoes. The perfect slices combined with a good crust on the pizza, the glass of wine perfectly defined, with some little drops of water on the outside, as it actually is when you have a cold glass of beer. The wooden chopping board on which the pizza is placed is insanely defined. You can see here the cuts of the original wood like you would see on a real one. The shadows are perfect. You get the light of the image from here and it reflects on the right hand of the glass. And even this detail right here on the bottom is from the light that we received here. This is insane. We also have the little crumbs here to add a bit of detail. Now, they are blurred because the alchemy function that it shows was photography. And when you play with photography, it's similar to photoreal, and it gives you more of a blurred image if you're outside of the main subject, that are the beer and the pizza. In fact, as you can see on the bottom and on top left, it's blurred out. This image is a masterpiece as well. In the foreground, we have this beautiful chopping board again with the basil that is highly defined, olives, onions, and again, the crust is cooked in a really realistic way. This image, he decided to put the beer in the foreground, and unfortunately, on the right, we have some bad stuff on the background, but it is completely fine. We can also see a cloth below the cutting board, adding some depth to the image and some detail. And the last image that I'm going to show you, you can find this also in my Instagram because it was so good I decided to upload it. It's an hamburger this time, and the definition of the cooked meat inside of the burger is amazing. The dripping cheese as well is so good. You can see there is light reflecting on the cheese. These images are absolutely wild. The buns, I honestly couldn't tell if the buns were real or not. If you look at the first one as well, you can see on the very edge, it has the crust like if it was cooked. This model, I think, is the best one that Leonardo has ever released. Let's take this image that was created by Leonardo Diffusion XL and let's check all the functions below the image. So, the first one is delete image. You can use this if, for example, you created an alchemy refiner and you don't like it, you can simply delete image variant and you will not find it anymore. You can download your image, you can copy it, so you can paste it on your Word document, presentation, WhatsApp, whatever. Then we have this feature that is remove background. As you can see, it wasn't able to detect properly the subject, but where it understood, it did an amazing job. This feature is extremely useful with portraits and images with people in general. Then we have Alchemy Smooth and Crisp Upscale. You can see all three in the screen right now, and as you can tell, there isn't much difference. That's why I never upscale, because it doesn't improve my image. And then we have the Alchemy Refiner that we already talked about earlier. In this lesson, you learn every single feature on the left side, how models work, and the next lesson will be the best one out of the whole course. You will learn how to use every single alchemy potion, how to add elements to your image, and the art of prompt crafting. This is a skill that is needed in every single AI image generator, and not only image generator, but it can also be applied to ChatGPT and every AI. I'll see you there. Right now we're going to create images together. Let's start. First thing that we want to do is select a model, and I'm going to go with Leonardo Diffusion XL. After a bit of testing, this looks like it's the best one as of right now. Next, we turn Alchemy on to guarantee us better results, and we select the aspect ratio 9:16. That is the one we want for our short form content images. And now we get to prompting. We have to create 4 images for our short form content that we're going to produce later. Let's start with the first one. The first one should be people walking in Walmart. And now we have to create a prompt. To create a prompt, we go here in prompt generation and we type in our basic prompt idea. In this case, loads of people walking in Walmart. We select the amount of prompts that we want and we click ideate. I really like this one, so I'm going to copy it and paste it here and then click on this button right here, improve prompt. And we can see that Leonardo generated a prompt that includes the subject of the scene, the style, so photograph, and then in the second part of the prompt, Leonardo compliments the image for its beautiful qualities, such as remarkable level of detail, the variety, and immersive experience for viewers. Once we have this, we go on the different portions and we choose cinematic because I am sure that this image can have a good look with a cinematic style, dynamic because it's one of the most general ones and it always gives a good result. Meanwhile, the ones generated by the dynamic option are pretty good. In the cinematic style, we can see here that we have a Walmart written here blurred out, and this image is pretty good. The only issues are the faces that are extremely deformed. So let's go with an alchemy refiner. With a normal refiner, we got this that isn't too bad, but as you can see here, there is like another head that we don't want. Meanwhile, with the high smooth, the head isn't there and the faces are pretty good. There is only a slight deformation, but no one can really see it since the rest of the image is really good. For our second prompt idea, we want something relating to money, and this one looks pretty good. A stock of golden coins. I'm not even gonna improve that prompt, I'm just gonna let it be. We got our images in cinematic, photography, and also in anime. Now this anime pile looks really good, so what I'm going to do is go with a refiner. There we go. We also got a Bitcoin in here, pretty cool. Now we remove the background. Without the background is pretty good, so we'll download it and use this. The next one that we need is a camera. So it gave us 4 options, one more vintage, one more futuristic. I'd like something more classic, so I'll go with the vintage one. Create an anime version because it's one of the best, photography, and the cinematic. We got our anime results back, and this image is insane. So I think I'll stick to this one. I will background remove it. Perfect. For the last image that we need to create, we are going to ask ChatGPT to help us prompt. This is the prompt I came up with. First, I give ChatGPT a role, act as an expert in the field of AI image generation with decades of experience. Then I tell GPT that we are going to use Stable Diffusion and Leonardo AI. The reason for that is that ChatGPT knows which prompts work better, either on Stable Diffusion or Mid-Journey generation. So the prompt is going to be tailored around Leonardo AI. The image is going to be a 1:1 aspect ratio, but don't include it in the prompt. That's just to give him more information about the image. It should be a sort of logo with bright colors, ideally green because it's the color of dollars, and yellow because it's the color of gold. The subject of the image is a cash register with money coming out of the bottom part. Here is where I describe the image. And then I ask him for a prompt. Let's read the prompt that we got back. Create a visually striking and vibrant logo style that features a cash register as the central subject. So we have a good definition of the subject. The cash register should be positioned in the center and exude an aura of prosperity and abundance. The color palette consists of high-catching shades of green and yellow. Ensure that the money is realistically depicted, and it keeps going with a highly detailed description. That's the reason I consider ChatGPT the best prompter for AI images. This is the best image that we got so far, so I'm going to remove the background. I'm now going to teach you how to remove any background from any image for free in Leonardo AI. As you probably know, Leonardo AI has a free feature that is remove background, but it only works for images created by Leonardo. For our video, for example, we need this logo without the background. Since I wasn't able to find an image with a green screen, that would really help us because in CapCut there is a feature that I'm going to explain to you later in the second module, where I teach you how to remove green screens and backgrounds from an image using a feature called chroma key. Now, for this image, we cannot use it because what chroma key does is removing the same color from the whole image. In this image, for example, if we were to remove the white background here, it would also end up removing the text here because it's white as well. Same here and here. Therefore, in order to remove the background, we are going to upload our logo on Leonardo AI and go on image guidance. This image guidance is the same as this one. In the last lesson, I showed you how to use it right here, but after an update, they moved it in this section, but it's still the same thing. You click image to image and you have the same feature that I explained to you in the last lesson. It doesn't matter the model, we're just going to click on general when it comes to alchemy, and then we're going to put the strength, that is how much the final image will be similar to the first one, all the way up. Then we make sure that the aspect ratio is the same so that the final image won't be stretched. So we just click here and it does it automatically. We have a 1x1 now, and then we enter a space and we just generate. And just like that, we have our logos. We click the one we prefer, doesn't matter, they're all the same. Remove background, and just like that, we have our background-free image ready to be put in the video. Another thing I'd like to touch on before ending this lesson is elements. When you're on the elements page, what you want to do is click show compatible only, and you will see the compatible models with your model. If you want access to more models, you can just change the model. Dream Shaper, for example, has all the models possible. One that I really like is Inferno, and I'm going to show you what it does. To activate it, you simply click it, confirm, then you decide how much weight the element is going to have. I usually suggest to leave it on 1 on default. And then we create a prompt about a landscape, something really general. We improve prompt, we add a basic negative prompt. Usually with landscapes, the best potion is environment, and we generate. By the way, this is not an image that we're going to use on our video, it's just to show you how elements work. And look at this is absolutely amazing. As you can see, this model specializes in lava and inferno type of landscapes, and this is absolutely amazing. Something that I also suggest to do is go for a refiner, because it usually improves the image. This is a high normal refiner. As you can see, it's pretty good. Usually with this type of landscapes, I found out that a smooth refiner works best, as you can see from this one. The only issue is that here it thought that there was a wolf for some reason, but apart from that, you can see that the whole image is insane. I deleted the version and created another one, but choosing low instead of medium refiner. And look at this, normal image versus low smooth image. You can clearly see here a mountain with lightnings. And what is this, a river that goes into lava? This is absolutely insane. I just love this kind of images. We're going to go with another prompt. This time I'm going to use a pirate ship and the pirate punk element, and let's see what happens. Also, as you can see, I put the weight of Inferno to 0 so that it doesn't affect the image at all. The results that we got are actually amazing, every single one of them. Yeah, elements are actually really good. The only issue is that you cannot use them with models like Leonardo Diffusion XL or Vision or any of the Alchemy V2 models, and you can only use these 4. But still, the Dream Shaper with these elements gives amazing results. Now let's say you're creating a clip for your short form content, and you find this image that is really good and it fits with your narrative and the content that you're trying to create, but you forgot to click the right aspect ratio right here. And this is definitely not 9:16, this is 3:2. So it will not fit properly in a vertical screen. So what you can do is go and edit in Canvas. Now before doing that, remember to look at the model that you used to create the image, because we will need it in Canvas. So we edit in Canvas. When we are here in Canvas, make sure to click on the model that we used to create the image. Otherwise, it will not give you the results you're looking for. That's because every model has a different way of generating image. And if you try to edit an image that was created with Stable Diffusion 2.1 with 3D animation styles, you're going to get some random text and a white background. So make sure to click the right model. Now, as you can see on the left side, we have some tools. The first one is the pen. You can either click with your left click and move around. Or you can simply, even if you have, for example, the select tool, you can click on the space bar. It gives you the hand and you can just, move around. Here you can find all the shortcuts that will help you. I suggest you to learn at least the basic ones, for example, undo, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes at the start. So after the pen, we have the select tool. With the select tool, you can move around images or this square that we're going to talk a bit later what it does. Then we have the draw mask. With this tool, you can mask a certain part of the image, for example, this tree. It usually works, of course, better and has a much bigger sense where you're trying to mask a human in an image. Here you can either make the brush bigger or smaller. Then we have the erase part where we can erase different parts of the image. Then the sketch where we can draw in the image. And then the next feature is text. You decide do you want it to be, for example, under 16, a text, you say hi, and then you put it in your image by using the select tool. You move it around right here. Then you can upload an image because you can also edit in Canvas other images that you can find on the internet or that you created somewhere else. Here you can delete all your Canvas history and you can download artwork. Even though this isn't really an artwork. Then here you have undo and redo. Now what I will do is get this image back to normal. There we go. So now what we are going to do, since we want a vertical image, we said we're going to expand the bottom and top part of the image. So here on the right side, we can choose how many outcomes do we want. I always suggest to choose 4. Even if the prompt is right, sometimes Leonardo struggles to understand it, even if the prompt is the best prompt you have ever typed in your entire life. So what we do here after we have chosen the image, we choose the dimensions of the square here. I usually go with the smallest one, but you can do whatever. You can also change it custom like this. Here we have the render density. What this does is changing the amount of pixels present in your image. I usually leave this to 1x all the way to the bottom because the more you add, the more noise is added to the image. Even unwanted things, it tries to fill in as many pixels as possible and it overall doesn't give the best results. Then we have guidance scale. This is how much the AI will listen to your prompt. I don't suggest to go all the way up because as you can see, a triangle comes here and it says that the guidance scale is really recommended between 7 and 8. In fact, that's where I usually leave it, either 7 or 8. So without further ado, let's create this prompt. I'm going to go with something simple, river, because that's what we are trying to do here. We put half of the square in the already existing image so that the AI can understand what's above, and then we put half on the nothing. And would you look at that? We have the river with the continued shadow of the tree. We have 4 options. This one isn't the best because as you can see, the shadow isn't straight. This one is better because it reflects right here the unclear water. This is really good because the shadow is straight, and we have this one a bit messier. Once you choose the one that you prefer, you click accept. Now, if you want to go back, you can always do 2 things. 1, move around the image that was created like this. And if you don't remember where it was, you just put it in a random place and then you hit Ctrl-Z or undo. They're the same thing and it goes back into the place. Or you can simply click on it and click backspace, that is delete, and it goes away. Now, since I like it, I'll keep it. And now we will create another one. I will just make this a bit wider so I can cover everything in one take. There we go. Now I was generating the second version and as you can see there is another update, so let's go ahead and click reload. As you just saw, there is so many updates coming out on Leonardo, it's crazy. Here we have the results. Now this one looks really good, this one doesn't, and these look good as well. I'll go with the second one. So if you look at the image alone, you can see that it looks like it got created like this. It doesn't look like anything was added here. So let's do the same on the top. And what I will do this time actually is remove the prompt, just hit backspace and generate. These are the results. So as you can see, there are these leaves that we don't want. This is absolutely insane. Look at that. Another leaf that we don't want. And another one of these that we don't really want. And this was, by the way, with no prompt. Let's go again. Let's look at the results. Oh, this one looks good. This one really doesn't. This one looks pretty good as well, but not the best. So I think I'll stick to this one. So even though this is pretty good, I'll hit cancel and go for another one. As you can see, there is a bit of text here. That's why I usually suggest put in the negative prompt words, numbers, and letters every time, unless you're of course looking for them. This only happened one generation out of like 24, I think, because of the presence of those words in the negative prompt, so always do that. Second generation looks absolutely goated, third one is pretty good, and fourth one really isn't. So I'll stick with the second one. Now, as you can see, look at what we have in the end. So we started from this, and we got this, a vertical image, and this is a perfect kind of image that you would want on your videos. To summarize, AI Canvas is absolutely goated if you're looking for this kind of stuff. If we put the select here, this square, let's put it small. Now that we're done with this image, let's create another one and figure out what inpainting is. So I got another image here, and we're going to go with inpainting. This image is, of course, Batman. And meanwhile, I really like this image. I don't really like this belt. In order to change the belt, we draw the mask here. Then we put the square all the way in. Prompt, it generates. As easy as that. The rest of the image remains the same. Meanwhile, the belt changes. Now, this is slightly better, but I still don't like this. So I went with no prompt, and let's see what we get. We have different types of belts, and this one looks actually pretty cool. So I think I'll stick to this one. And as you can see, we have successfully inpainted the image. If you don't want the belt anymore, you can just click on this, remove it, and you have the whole belt. I don't know why everyone will want the whole belt, but you do you. There are another 2 features in the canvas mode, even though they're not that helpful. I will go over them quickly. If you click here, you can use text to image that I'm not gonna go over because it's the exact same as the AI image generation, as you can see in this quick video. Then we have inpaint and outpaint that we just talked about. Then we have image to image. So what you do in this feature is you create your sketch, you generate, and you got results. Is this a good feature? Not at all. I don't suggest using it. It doesn't give good results. I'm just gonna tell you how it works. It's still getting developed, and I can't draw. So since I can't draw, it's not that helpful. And then we have the last one that is sketch to image. I tried to research for a painting that wasn't the Mona Lisa, since it's what Leonardo AI used, but it was either naked woman or landscapes. So I just went for the Mona Lisa, and I'm going to explain you how sketch to image works here. And basically how this works, you get a sketch, you draw some mustaches. I drew a mustache on the Mona Lisa, and let's see. And now this is the mustache on the Mona Lisa. What's insane is that not only you have the mustache, but it also recreated the style around the painting, and this is actually really cool. But I don't really see how you could possibly use this in content creation for now. But if you want to mess around and make and put a mustache on your female friend or something like that, or even if you find a way to add this into content creation, feel free to do that. This is a feature that works way better than this one that we talked about earlier. With this last lesson, you finally completed the training on Leonardo AI image generation and AI Canvas. In the next lessons, we are going to talk about content creation and the ways to implement what we just learned into short-form content. To get good generations, I highly suggest you to practice a bit in the actual website if you didn't already. What I did as I was starting out, I created an Instagram account and started posting daily an image Since you get free daily credits, it's really easy to do. And you just create images over and over every day, and you post it on your Insta. And then if you want, you can even DM me and ask me to review your creations, whatever. That's secondary. That's for practice though, because your first creations won't be as good as the ones you're going to create in a month of doing daily images. Trust me when I say that. Because knowledge alone isn't going to make you an AI master. You also need to put a bit of practice in and test things for yourself. Without wasting any more time, you know how to create images, edit them on Canvas. Now you're going to learn how to implement them in content creation. You are one step away from understanding the secret recipe to content creation. I'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome to the second module of this course. You now learned AI and how to leverage it to get the maximum result on the Leonardo AI platform. Now, in the second part of the blueprint that you can see on screen, there is understand and learn content creation. Don't underestimate understand. The success of a YouTube channel comes from both understanding and creating good quality content. Let's get into the understanding part. I created two different scenarios. In the first one, you make a Minecraft video. In the second one, you make a sports video. Let's say you make a Minecraft video and there are 1 million people on the whole planet interested in Minecraft. You decide to niche down your video. What it means is picking a specific part of the game and making a video on it to be more specific and original. You make this video about a minigame, and out of all the people interested in Minecraft, maybe 10% are interested in that minigame. So you only have 100k people interested in watching that video. And since you need to create multiple videos if you want a successful YouTube channel, you're going to have to dissect the minigame into different videos. So specific features about that specific minigame. And guess what? Now the people interested in your whole video from 1 million decreased to 20k. Let's consider the second scenario now. You create a video about sports. Everyone in the world is interested in sports. You decide to sub-niche it to football. FIFA, the official organization of football, declares that there are 5 billion football supporters around the entire world. To keep the numbers simpler, let's say there are 1 billion. 5 times less, okay? Out of the 1 billion interested in football, there are going to be, let's say, 100 million that are interested in specific footballers. And by that, I mean they know Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, the biggest names, all right? That's what they know. Now, if you look at the two different scenarios, in the first one, you only have 20,000 people that are interested in your video in the whole world, while in the second one, you have 100 million. What that means is that for the second video, there is a way higher chance for it to go viral, because there are so many people that are interested that you're surely going to find someone that wants to hear what you have to say. And I got an example for you. I found this video named Mbappe Evolution. I want you to watch it.
What you want, girl, let me be the one to hold your hand forever. We be good together. I'll make you feel special, help you feel less stressful. Fix the holes in your heart, it's what I wanted from the start. I got mental issues, always fucking miss you. Tons of bloody tissue.
This video achieved 2 million views while having the CapCut subtitles that I'm literally using for this course, basic transitions, basic editing, a slow pace, and an anticlimactic end. This video is not a good piece of content creation, but it got 2 million views. Why is that? Because there are so many people interested in Kylian Mbappe, and what did this video do? It told a story. It started from 1998, so as the video progresses, 2001, 2004, over and over and over, people see him growing and they are waiting for the end. The only reason people keep watching is because they are interested in the end. I want you to pay attention, no descriptions, few tags, hit the likes. Yet, this video achieved 2 million views. Another reason is the trending song. This song went extremely viral in this period of time when the video was published, and that's another reason. Music is a fundamental pillar of your content creation because music gives an emotion. You feel the story, you see it growing. There is the nostalgic music, trending, all of that goes in the mind of the viewer. And he just doesn't stop watching. He watches the whole video to see what he is like in 2023, even though he already knows. So why did this video go viral? Because of the good idea behind the video, Mbappe Evolution, as you can read from the title, because of the trending song and the emotion that it gave to the viewer. Now, what would have happened if this video used better subtitles and transitions? Probably it would be sitting at 10 million views because this idea is genius. But you have to understand that behind every viral video there is an idea. Your content creation quality is going to improve the result of your short. But if your idea is trash, it's zero, your content creation quality cannot improve a bad idea. I prepared another YouTube video, and this time is from Mr. Beast. This is a short from a podcast. And in a couple of lessons, we are going to recreate a podcast clip by using AI. When I was coming up with video ideas for this course, I thought of a Mr. Beast podcast right away. Because podcasts are going insane in short form content. Just to name a few. Think of Joe Rogan, David Goggins, Neil deGrasse, even Andrew Tate. Podcasts are one of the best ways to create good short form content. Let's watch the video.
So every month in America, over 100 million people walk into a Walmart. This past month, it's been absurd. Basically, whatever I thought we were going to sell, we're doing like 5 times better. Basically, I could go stand in any Walmart in America and I would have to take 100 photos if I just stood there for like 30 minutes. So those same people, when they go into a Walmart, will buy my products. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of, which is kind of a no-brainer, but it's more extreme than I ever thought. Retail space, when you have a brand this big, it's just so OP. And I'm sure you see the same thing with Happy Dad. I think Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastables, I don't see a world where they're not all multi-billion-dollar companies in just a couple of years.
This video has almost 5 million views. Why? Number 1, public figure. Mr. Beast is well known by everyone. When you see a video of Mr. Beast, you stick till the end. Number 2, the title is good, so if you see this in your own page, you're going to click it. This is making Mr. Beast a billionaire! Exclamation mark. What? What is making Mr. Beast a millionaire? I gonna know. Number 3, the hook. The hook are the first 3 to 6 seconds of the video. And that's where you have to... And in the hook, your objective is to capture the attention of the viewer. Most people, when they scroll through TikTok, Instagram, whatever, they are mindlessly scrolling. I once recorded myself while scrolling. I looked like a zombie. You can capture attention in whatever way possible. And that's where I usually use AI, because AI in the hook is a guaranteed curiosity spark from the viewer. After the hook, the video starts, and Mr. Beast doubles down on the hook, and he says, whatever I thought we were gonna do, we are doing 5 times more. And you're like, wait, what? So he's becoming a billionaire 5 times more? Does he have $5 billion? And then he explains how he drives traffic because of his public image, and if he goes to Walmart, he gets a lot of attention, so he's gonna put products in the Walmart. From a content creation perspective, the video is well done. The subtitles are yellow with a black shadow, the editing is good, the clip is centered on Mr. Beast, and hear this part.
Hey, with Happy Dad, I think Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastables.
Did you hear the sound effects? Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastables. He said 3 things popped up on the screen with a sound effect. That drives attention. And if this wasn't clear already, to make a video go viral on any platform, you have to make people watch it from the start to the end. The concept is simple, managing to do that is a bit harder. So sound effects are extremely great. And then it ends by saying all these companies that I've previously said They're going to be billionaires in 2 years. Perfect short. Extremely good execution. We have the good subtitles, the focus on Mr. Beast, sound effects, images popping up on screen. Extremely good. Now, I'm going to explain you in a couple of lessons how to create this kind of shorts in CapCut and how to even improve these kind of videos that are already almost perfect. Let's move on the next type of content that I'll teach you how to create. And these ones are edits. Here's what I mean. And I'll give you another example.
Enid, you're not gonna believe I heard about your new roommate. She eats human flesh. Totally chowed down on that kid she murdered. You better watch your back.
Quite the contrary.
So after watching these two kind of videos, you can probably tell which one is better. Now this one has reached 1 million views and it got released 4 days after the Netflix series was released. And that's the main reason it got that many views. Because the edit is short, doesn't tell a story, doesn't have that crazy content creation skills, doesn't almost have anything. But since it was released exactly 4 days after the release date, everyone was so hyped about this that this just went straight to the trends. It just starts with a blur and then there is the girl walking. Meanwhile, on the second short, the edit is absurdly better. It was published 8 months after the release date, but the edit was so good that it got 10 million views. That's it. A good thing that you have to notice right now in this edit is that the video is 4K, as you can see. And what made this edit so good that 10 million people decided to watch it? It wasn't the time. It was a good subject, of course, because this TV series went extremely famous. But again, the music. This music is perfect for edits. It fits really well with the scene, and the scene is extremely good by itself already. So how did the content creator manage to improve this? Well, the subtitles are extremely good. Look at this. You can see the text as a glow effect. I'm gonna teach you how to create it, but basically it makes it stand out and 10 times better in edits mostly. And then you can see after half of the edit, half of the subtitle becomes red, human flesh. You think about blood, you're like, what shit's human flesh? That red gives a bad connotation, an aggressive connotation, because she's literally eating human flesh. And it happens here again with the word murdered. It's red. Then these lights, the main character appears and the whole subtitle is red because she is mad. And then the part of the edit happens. Look at that again. Shakes, blur, light, and the image is still so you can see everything. The music raises in volume and creates the emotion again. It finishes the story about her eating flesh. And she says, you're the one that has to watch out. A masterpiece. In the next lesson, you're going to learn the basics of CapCut. And after that, I'm going to create with you different shorts that are perfect in quality so that you can learn how to use them for your ideas. This is the user interface that you find once you open CapCut. To download CapCut, you simply gotta search on Google CapCut, click on the first link, download, you install the software, and once you open it, you will find this interface. Now, this interface is pretty simple. Here you have the projects, and here you can start a new project. And that's what we're going to do. Once we are in the project, we can see that there are a lot of features. So the first thing that we want to do is recognize that there are 4 different panels. Top left panel, center, top right, and the bottom one. Let's start from the left one. Here we can import our files. Just left click and you just choose whatever you want to import. For this project, I've chosen a random interview that I found on YouTube. about Elon Musk. You can get whatever you want. It's just to practice the basic tools. Here, you do not only have the import section under the media section, you have the spaces. That is a feature that you don't need, but you can use while signing in CapCut. There is the library where you can find black, white screens, you can find glitch, and some stock footage. It's a pretty cool place to find some templates. We will not really need them for shorts, though. And then we have brand assets where you can upload images and videos related to your brands, but again, we don't really need them. Let's stick to local. We have our clip here, and we're going to alt left click and transport it into the timeline. Now here on the top left panel, we have another 7 functions. So we have the audio function. On the audio function, we can add music, sound effects. We can run copyright checks just to check if our videos will get taken down or striked for copyright strikes on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels. We can import audios, so MP3 files, and we can sync in with TikToks so that we can choose the trending songs. And then we have brand music that is similar to the brand assets here. Don't really need that. In this section, we add text. We have the default text, we have some presets, we have some text effects, templates. Then we have this amazing feature that is mostly used in long form content, but you can still use it in shorts. It's awesome, it's auto captions. And then we have local captions. So by saving a file in a certain format, you can upload here and you will have your captions. Not really needed since we have auto captions. Then we have stickers. Stickers are tools that you can add. They look pretty goofy and I don't really suggest them. But you have a ton and you can maybe find something that you like. Then we have effects. This is a really important section. So in this course, as I already said, we're going to create 2 videos. And in the second one, we are going to explain this properly and in detail. As of right now, all that you need to know is that these effects will add a different touch to your image. There are transitions that you can put between clips. As you can see, there is an example here. Then you have filter that slightly change the color of your image. As you can see here in the Elon Musk, you can see that the color changes, a feature that we don't need since we already have effects and transitions. So the player panel is used to give a preview of your video. So what you can do is go right here down with your mouse, and as you scroll, you're going to see the video moving. So if you click here, there is a burger bar, and we can see 3 functions. The first one, we won't really use it because it measures colors with particular graphs that we will not use. The second one is preview quality. This will not affect your final result in the video. It's just in the player panel if you want to prioritize screen resolution. I don't have quality priority, even if it would be better. And that's because usually it either crashes or lags. So I keep it on performance priority. And then you can export the still frame, so it's like taking a screenshot. Then what we can do, if we click on the video, we can crop it, so make it bigger or smaller. We can also use this tool here to zoom in or out. We can then change the ratio of our videos, and we're going to do that 9:16 because that's what the standard is for Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and TikToks. And then we can completely zoom in. Then we have the top right panel. This tool is called Inspector in other editing softwares, and it summarizes pretty well what it does. So what you can do is zoom in or out as we were doing earlier. Select the position of the clip. You can also do this by moving around, as you can see. You can rotate while using this tool right here. You can use this tool to align if you're referring to a text, and there is blend mode that allows you to show your clip at maximum opacity or 0 opacity or fading it. There is the stabilize tool that stabilizes your image. If, for example, the camera was moving, you took the video yourself and it wasn't really stable, and you can do it at level recommended, minimum or even most stable, so at a higher standard. Then you have image enhancement, that is a pro feature, so we won't really go into it. Noise reduction, removing video flickers, auto reframe. Then we have motion blur. So you don't really want to use this feature ideally because there is an effect that does it better. What you ideally do is use blur effects instead of this motion blur here. So I'm going to turn it off. So if you're having a clip like this and you don't really like it because there is a black screen, you can fill it by creating a duplicate of this clip, and you just copy it here. And then what you do to the background clip, that is the one below, put it full screen like this, and then by clicking on canvas and blur, you can select the type of blur that you want, so that while the clip moves, you can see that Elon Musk is talking and in the background there is like him but blurred. That is way better than a black screen. Then in the inspector still, we have cutout. In the cutout part, you can use this feature called chroma key. And how this works is you click it, color picker, and you click a color, usually works the best with green. And you can see that if I put the strength up, the green screen is going to go away. So you're going to see this like message. So that's perfect if you're trying to get overlays for your YouTube videos and stuff like that. So the masking part is going to be explained later when we're going to create our short edit, because we're going to use it. So moving on, there is enhance. As you can see, if you click on face, it is going to recognize your face, and you can smooth, you can brighten, you can white it. There are a lot of features that you can use. Moving on to audio, you can see the volume of a clip. Right now, I muted it, but if I mute it, I can lower the volume or I can enhance it. As you can hear, the final part of this clip makes the audio end in a not smooth way.
All right, I'll see you soon, on
What you can do is fade out the audio so it's smoother.
places and places you can go. Thank you, Elon Musk, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'll see you soon, on.
After the fade out, you have loudness normalization. I don't suggest this, as you can use the volume, and choosing the volume manually is quicker and better. Then we have noise reduction. This allows you, if you're, for example, recording something like me on my PC, and the PC is pretty loud and there is noise on the background. So if you turn this feature on, the noise is going to disappear completely. Also pay attention, because on audio, this feature is free. Meanwhile, on video, for some reason, it's only for pro users. If you use it on audio, it works fine. And then we have channels. It basically transports your audio into different channels, but it's something that you can easily do manually on the timeline. Then we have the voice changer. Basically what it does is giving you voice filters and characters. This feature is almost completely useless, since you can use 11 Labs, that is a free AI software that can replicate anyone's voice on Earth, and even someone that died if you want to, as long as you give them a 1-minute sample. Then we have speech to song, a feature we won't use because we're going to use actual music. Then we have speed. We are going to talk about speed later, where we're going to talk about speed drums and this kind of stuff. So let's skip that for now. Animations are basically the same thing as effects. You can use them as the clip is starting, as the clip is finishing, or just during the clip. But the effects are the same as in the effects panel. And then we have adjustment. Here you can do color grading and change the colors of the image, the temperature, the hue, the saturation. We are not going to go in detail with this, but we're going to talk a bit about it later when we're doing the edit. Now that we're done with the inspector, let's go over the timeline. In the timeline, you can use this bar right here to move on your timeline. And then there are a lot of tools. Let's get straight into it. This icon right here shows that the clip on the line is a video. And in fact it is. Then we have the lock track. If you put the lock, doesn't matter what you try and do, if you try and move it, backspace, cancel, delete, it doesn't matter. It's not going to happen because it's locked. Then we have the show or hide track. And basically you can hide or show your track and mute your track. So you can mute or unmute your track. Here we have the different tools that we can use. They're not really useful at all. You just want to stick to select because all the other features, you can use them in other ways that are more efficient. Here we have undo or Control Z. This Control Z command, you have to learn it because it's so helpful. I deleted everything. I double click Control Z and everything is back to normal as it was before. Then we have redo, so you can undo the undo basically. Here we have the split command. So we have our clip. If we click Control B or if we click here, we're going to split the clip. I highly suggest to learn Control B as well because it is a feature that you will need. Also make sure that with your cursor, you are not in the timeline, otherwise it will cut at the cursor and not where the player head is. Then we can delete whatever is on the left or the right. We can delete the whole clip. A freeze is basically a screenshot, as you can see. We have the reverse, pretty self-explanatory, and the clip goes from the last second to the first second instead of the first second to the last second. And then we have the mirror. It basically changes the right part of the clip with the left. We have rotate. This is a feature that rotates by 90 degrees the whole image. We have crop, so we can decide to remove a part of the image if you want, as you can see. And then we have remove filler words. This feature is really good, but we cannot use it because it requires Pro. So if you have Pro CapCut, this is one of the best features in the platform. If you don't, it's completely fine. You can do it by yourself, as I do it, since I don't have Pro CapCut. Now we move to the right side of the line, and we have the record button that we can click so that we can record the voiceover directly in the editing software. We have the turn off main track magnet. Since we are trying to make short form content, I highly suggest you to turn this off. Instead, if you're editing long form content, you should turn this on. And what this basically does is if I delete this clip and the feature is off, there is going to be a hole. If the feature is on, everything is going to unite by itself. If I click backspace, bam, and there is no hole. If you're using shorts, it's usually better to leave holes. And the reason is we are going to create so many layers on top of each other that sometimes we need holes in the main timeline. Then we have auto-snapping. This feature is absolutely insane. So what auto-snapping does is basically when you unite a clip, a blue line appears that shows you that the two clips are so close that there aren't any black frames in the middle. As you can see, there is always a clip. Instead, if you're not using auto-snapping, let's turn this off, and I put it close, even if it looks like they're close enough, you can see there's a black screen here because I missed a frame. So always use auto-snapping when you're trying to do this, and there are going to be no black frames. The next feature is turn off preview axis. That is this yellow line that you see. If you turn it off, you won't be able to see the video moving right here when you scroll. Instead, if you do, you're going to see it move. And I personally prefer that. And the last feature is zoom in or zoom out of the thumbnail. You can also do that by holding Control and then scrolling with your scroll wheel on the mouse. So, this was CapCut Essentials and all the features that we're going to use and need. And now let's get into creating. Here we are in CapCut. I have chosen the clip that we are going to create the short form content on. It is going to be the same clip that we saw in the last lesson, which is Mr. Beast on this podcast. I've already gone ahead and cut the clip, and now we have a 1 minute and 10 second segment. So I'll really quickly cut it up, remove the filler words to get all the parts of the clip ready. After we're done with the first cut, we want to put the text. So we go in text, auto captions, create. First things first, let's change the subtitles so that there is 3 words at max Also, if you're from the mobile version, you will have an option that allows you to create one-word subtitles. That is a way better feature than this one. But if you're from computer, it's completely fine. Make sure that they don't fit in two different lines, because that looks ugly. Now that we have corrected spelling mistakes made by CapCut and made sure that the max amount of words per subtitle is 3, we can go ahead and choose color and size for the subtitles. So you click on the first one, or whatever you prefer. You make sure that this is ticked, apply to all. You go in effects, and you choose a style that fits you. Make sure to use the same style of subtitles for every one of your videos. Because once you do, people are going to recognize your shorts. If you change subtitle every time, they're not even gonna recognize that you're the same content creator. This is very important. You need to start to create a brand. After a bit of thought, I chose this silver neutral color. Now we go back in the basic and we decide if we want to add some of these features. I highly do not suggest to use curve because it looks goofy. Shadow is sometimes unavailable depending on which kind of font you chose. Same goes with stroke. And then we can choose the background that I highly do not suggest. Glow is a really cool feature, and if it fits well with your text color, you should definitely go for it. I highly suggest to spend a bunch of time the first time that you're choosing the text, because that's gonna help you every time from now on that you're going to make shorts. It's always going to be the same text. So make sure to spend a bit of time and not make it something ugly as this. After a bit of testing, I decided to go with aqua, slightly low intensity than default. That's because MrBeast has white pants. If I put a white glow with a white text or white pants, it's not going to stand out as well as this one. Now that we have our text, we need to place it. To place it, let's change the ratio of our project, because remember, we are making a YouTube short. So go ahead, click here, 9:16. Now we are going to zoom in MrBeast. Now that we're done scaling up all the clips, we can scale up the subtitles. We make sure to apply to all, and we scale them up. Now it's where AI comes into place. We already have a pretty strong hook, as you can hear.
The biggest thing is that
MrBeast is saying the biggest thing, and everyone's like, what's the biggest thing? I wanna know. So that's a good hook. And then MrBeast says,
every month in America, over 100 million people walk into Walmart.
MrBeast already appeared in the first clip. That's why here we're going to use a Walmart image, AI generated. Here, where MrBeast says that they're doing 5 times better than he expected, we can create another AI image relating to money. In this section, MrBeast talks about the fact that he would have to take 100 photos with his fans, so we're going to create a little overlay with a camera. 1 second later, it talks about time. So here, what we can add, instead of an image, because we have already flooded the first seconds, we can add a sound effect of a watch ticking. Again, here we talk about money, 6 figures. We have already put an image about money, so we don't want to repeat that. So what we're going to do here when it says we are already doing 6 figures, sound effect. It's that guy from YouTube. Here we can simply add the YouTube logo. Here he talks about 3 different brands, so we're going to do something similar to the shorts that we already saw, and we're going to put the 3 brands on screen. We got all the images that we need.
Over 100 million people walk into Walmart.
We place the second image. We put this image right here with the background removed, and then from here where it says 5 times more, we're going to duplicate and create another 4. And as you can see, the effect is this.
I thought we were going to say we're doing like 5 times better.
Since we want the camera to take a picture of MrBeast, we are going to mirror the clip right here. So it's pointing at MrBeast. Here it talks about 6 figures. So we are going to put a cash register and remove the 6-figure text. Then it says it's that guy from YouTube. So we're going to add the YouTube here. Cutout, chroma key, as I already showed you. And we remove the gray screen. And then to add a bit of movement, we are going to make the YouTube logo shake. How do we do that? It's pretty simple. We just hit the keyframe, then we go 4 frames forward or whatever you prefer, and we move it to the left. The keyframe is going to automatically select. So now by holding Ctrl, we click this keyframe and this keyframe, they both become blue. Now, still while holding Ctrl, we click C so that we copy both keyframes. Then we go on the second keyframe, we move whatever amount of frames we decided before. For me, it was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we hit Ctrl V, that is paste. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're on the other keyframe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. And there you have it. So this is the final result.
Because people are like, oh, it's that guy from YouTube.
And then we have the last part where we add the Feastables, Prime, and Happy Dad logo. In the Feastable one, we have to cut out, as we did earlier. And now we just have to make them appear in sequence. We got the timing, and now we place them. So Prime on top, because it's the first one that it said. And then we want Feastables in the middle, because it's the MrBeast product. So we're going to put Happy Dad on the bottom. Now, since the way they appear is not good,
Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastable.
we're going to change it a bit. To make it visually appealing, we just have to go on basic and use keyframes once again. At the start, we put a keyframe on the scale this time, and we put it all the way to the lowest. Then we go a couple of frames forward, and we put it as a slightly bigger scale that we want it to. And then while going forward again, we put it to the scale that we want. This is the final result.
Prime, Happy.
And we're going to do it for all of them. Just copy and paste the keyframes. So here's the final result.
I think Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastables.
After looking back at the short, I realized I could add a megaphone here. So I did. And now we have a good video. Let's go ahead and implement sound effects. We got our sound effects now, so let's place the crowd talking over the Walmart, coins falling over the coins, the cash register on the cash register, and the camera taking a picture. We extract the audio out by clicking on extract audio and remove all the videos. And then we get our final effect from the audio panel. We need a pop sound. And we put it right here. We got our crowd sound effect with a smooth ending.
America, over 100 million people walk into Walmart.
Since the coins are 5, we're going to have to duplicate the sound effect. We got the coin sound effect. To give this sound effect a little bit more depth, I've copy and pasted the same sound effect 4 times and moved it by 1 frame.
Whatever I thought we were going to sell, we're doing like 5 times better.
So that's the final result. For the camera effect, since it talks about 100 photos, I put 6 sound effects, distanced by 2 frames each. So this is the final result.
100 photos, if I just stood there.
And we also want to add some flashing lights. To recreate a flash effect, we're going to add the black fade effect, and this is how it looks like.
100 photos, if I just...
Then we have the cache effect.
Like 6 figures.
And then we have the pop sounds right here. To add the pop effect, we just look at which frame the item is going to appear. We add the pop effect, and this is the final result.
Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastables.
Now we created a good short. What I suggest to do once you're done with the process is to review everything and make sure you didn't make any spelling mistakes or the clips isn't scaled properly. After adding a time ticking effect, because I realized I forgot when it says 30 minutes, this effect that gives luminance and more light to the whole short, and a couple of reviews on the text, this is what I got.
The biggest thing is that every month in America, over 100 million people walk into Walmart. And up until basically a month ago, we had no products in there. Now, this past month, it's been absurd. Whatever I thought we were going to sell, we're doing like 5 times better. I could go stand in any Walmart in America, and I would have to take 100 photos if I just stood there for like 30 minutes. So those same people, when they go into Walmart, will buy my products. It's kind of a no-brainer, but it's more extreme than I ever thought. And so before we were even promoting that we were in Walmart, we just put it in there. It was only in a couple of thousands as they were ramping it up, and we were already doing 6 figures. It's just because people are like, oh, it's that guy from YouTube, and they buy it. It's kind of shifted my whole mindset. Retail space, when you have a brand this big, it's just so OP. I think Prime, Happy Dad, and Feastables, I don't see a world where they're not all multi-billion-dollar companies in just a couple of years.
The short looks great. There is only a slight part here where I'm going to modify and it's the YouTube logo that looks pretty ugly with this effect. So we're going to cut the effect here and add the effect to the video directly. After applying the effect to the clip, you can see
Here you go. It's just because people are like, oh, it's that guy from YouTube, and they buy it. It's kind of
you can see that the YouTube logo is completely fine now. This is how to create good short-form content. In the next lesson, we're going to address a different style that is slightly more complicated and that requires a bit more skill. I'll see you there. This is the final lesson of the course. You will now learn the hardest type of content that you can create. When I say the hardest, it's because whenever you're doing an edit like this, you are going to face a million problems. From the music too long or too short, to the sync, to the choice of the subject, the clips, the kind of effects that you want to add, the sound effects, speed ramping. And today I will show you how to overcome all of them. The first thing that you want to do when creating an edit is choosing the subject first. For example, today I chose Guido from the movie Cars. You probably know him. And I chose the scene where he does the pit stop in the first movie on Lightning McQueen. Once you've chosen your clips, you decide the music and the narrative of your video. What do I mean by narrative? The narrative is how you interpret the scene that you have chosen. For example, with this same scene, I could do a lot of edits. For example, a compilation of all Guido's pit stops, or an edit on which the main subject is the actual race and how this pit stop made Lightning McQueen win, or instead what I'm doing today is focusing on Guido as the main character of this edit. The narrative that I chose divides the edit in different parts. The first one is where Guido gets mugged.
Round things are called tires, and they go under the car.
You will have your chance, Guido, you will.
After Guido gets mugged, there is then Dog that says,
Guido, it's time.
and then he actually does the pit stop. Then there is the reaction of the mockers.
Beat stop.
Guido tops his performance with that sentence, and in this segment is where the music drops, gets louder, and the most effects are applied. When it comes to music, you have to choose a music that fits with your narrative. What I did was choosing a funk music, and you're gonna hear what I mean now.
Round things are called tires, and they go under the car.
You will have your chance, Guido, you will have your chance.
Guido,
Ladies and gentlemen.
turn.
Beat start.
As you can hear, there is the start of the music. Here there is a pause that perfectly fits with what Doc is saying. Guido, it's time. And the song literally says, ladies and gentlemen. And then it drops, there is a pause, and then it restarts. And when it restarts, we're going to have another little edit. And the scenes here are not gonna be related, the first pit stop. It's just gonna be related to Guido. A problem that I had to face was right here. If you hear this clip, there is the original music of the movie in the background.
Beat stop.
And it doesn't sound good if you mix up two musics. And what I did was going right here on Adobe Podcast, and I enhanced my speech. Basically on this website you can remove background noise and enhance your speech so that you can lower the volume of the music. Then I uploaded the new audio, and in fact, this is the final result.
Beat stop.
The first thing that we are going to do is adjust the music. This section is where the music builds up. Here we have the pause when it says, ladies and gentlemen. So right here, what we're going to do is make sure that the volume builds up as well. How we're going to do that? Simple. We go at the start, we put the volume down, keyframe, and then we go forward and we put the volume up. And there we go. As you can see, we got this curve right here that symbolizes that the audio goes from basically 0 and builds up. Here we have the drop. And I'd like to raise up the volume a bit. And here we raise the volume once again. This is the volume of the whole track, minus 14.7 decibels. And what we are going to do is raise up on this part and this part, so we get this smooth effect.
Stop.
Now, since we're creating a short, we need to change the ratio to 9:16. And all of our clips are 16:9. And meanwhile, this looks like a disadvantage. We can use this to make the edit even better. Here we have a slight issue because once the clip changes, the position isn't exactly the same. So we can just copy this number right here and it becomes smooth. We want to do it for all the clips. In this clip, there are two characters, Guido and Luigi. So what we're going to do is put some keyframes so that they both are in the scene. And this is the final result. It's a pretty basic thing to do. You just scale the clip normally, then you put a keyframe at the 0, 0 position or close enough, basically the center. Then you move your player head to around half of the clip. You put the focus on one character, and then at the end you put it on the other one so that the camera moves. This is perfect. We put a keyframe here once we scale this clip. As you can see, the clip here is centered and now we center it here as well. In this section, there was already movement done by the movie creators. So the animation is smooth because there is already the motion blur that Pixar applied in the original movie.
It's time.
Regarding the first clip, we can simply zoom in the central guy that is talking.
Those round things are called tires, and they go under the car.
Right here, this scene is problematic. Let me tell you why. The other three guys are losing their mustaches because of the quick pit stop. But the central one isn't. And if we zoom in only the middle one, the clip looks static and without movement. And you hear sound effects that you don't know why you're hearing. For this specific clip, we are going to play with blur. How do we do it? We take the clip, we go on canvas, blur, and we have a blurred background that is the whole clip scaled up, so that there is no black screen. This clip is pretty easy to scale. You just scale it up. This one as well. Same here. And same goes for this one. For the second part of the clip, when the pit stop is over, we're just going to zoom in just like that. So it gives a cool vibe of everyone looking on the right side and it's just looking straight, ice cold. Regarding this image instead, we're going to go with some keyframes. The image should start like this with him as the main character. Then he throws everything up with a keyframe. And here he moves, so let's go here and move to right here. After that he moves once again. This is the final result. And the end here, the last keyframe, has the same position as the next clip, so there are no jumps. So everything looks smooth and scaled up. Now we have the next part, speed ramping. By speed ramping, I mean adjusting the speed of each individual clip to make them more engaging, fast-paced, and overall smoother. For example, in this clip, there is a part where Lightning McQueen is going over the main character of the edit, so we might as well speed up that part. How do we do that? Speed, curve, then we go on montage. That is the one that I usually use. In this interface, what we do is speeding up the clip by putting this up or down, and then slowing the clip by putting this up or down. And as you can see, the clip is going to go at its normal speed, speed up, and then slow down, and then go back to normal. And that's exactly what we want. I'm going to click slow motion so that the slow motion is smoother. I chose optimal flow because even though it takes slightly longer to generate, it's overall a better slow motion. And let's watch it now. Another part where we can speed ramp is the last clip. And this is the last clip with a speed ramp. Perfect. He's dancing with the lady. Let's watch this clip with a speed ramp. After watching the whole edit once again, I realized that the sound effects are already in the video. For example, right here, when it does the pit stop, there are already the sound effects of the movie, so we don't really need to add any sound effects. What we're going to do now is add the text. That is a crucial part of the edit, as bad looking text or too basic doesn't look great. So here's how to create good text in edits. I've written text, chosen the font. Here I decided to go for this kind of animation when they laugh. And this is the finalized text. I decided to choose this kind of font. I decided not to use a glow because if I use a glow, I think the text loses some of its luminance in the font. I've chosen a fade-in animation that lasts 0.1 second and it's barely noticeable. It's just a slight detail. And I've gone with this effect for the louder. So this is the final result.
Round things are called tires, and they go onto the car.
Here, while Luigi speaks, I'm not gonna add text because the camera is already moving and there is no need. And for the second part of the text, I've chosen this.
Burrito. It's
And for the last text, I've chosen a red font and a pop-up animation.
feed start.
And now we move on to the final part, the effects. To apply an effect on this clip, I decided to go with a little bit of a more advanced effect. And I'm going to show you exactly how to create this. So firstly, you duplicate the project. I'm currently on a copy. You delete everything except the clip. And then you apply the effect neon outline. You export the video. In order to create this effect, we put the clip with the neon outline right here. Then we click on it, adjustment, and we make it black and white. So we remove all the saturation. Once we are done with that, we add an overlay that, by the way, I found on YouTube for free. You can search it up. That is this one. It's a rainbow moving, as you can see. What we're going to do is slow down the movement. So to slow down, we go on speed and we put it to times 0.3. I also want to rotate it as I want the aqua and blue part in the bottom. Let's make it even slower. Now on the blend mode, we click overlay and we have the effect now. Let's see how it looks. It's not bad, but I'd like some more blue. There we go. Let's see how it looks now. Absolutely perfect. For this clip right here, we'll use another slightly advanced effect. To do this, we copy and paste clip. We go on adjustments once again, put the saturation all the way down, go to the curves, and we change the brightness curve so that we get this kind of brightness. Then we put a keyframe at the start, and we put the opacity to like 70, something like that. And at the end, we put a keyframe on 0. After we are done with the opacity, we click a frame for the scale. We go at the end and we click another keyframe and we make it bigger. And this is what we got.
Feed start.
After some thought and trying some effects on the main clip, I realized that this clip is way better if it's raw without any effects. And it's just the normal clip with the normal colors. And the effect that we can leave is the one afterwards where everything becomes neon. Therefore, I'm going to leave it like that. The only thing that we need to add then are the shakes, and the shakes should be timed up with the beat of the music. Let's go ahead and do that. I've gone ahead already and split the clip depending on the beat drops, as you can see right here. A little tip, you don't need to go frame per frame and listen to the song and find the precise frame where the beat drop happens. Usually, there is, as you can see here, the volume increases once there is a beat drop. In fact, here is a place where the beat drop happens and I have to split the clip. You can usually find beat drop easier by looking at the audio volume. And now it's time for the shakes. I'm going to use different types of shake during the whole video because I want to keep the edit fresh. I'll start with a shake effect. To place it correctly, I go at the beat drop, I go 2 frames on the left, and put my shake here, and then check how it is. I think it's a bit too much, so I'll lower the range to around 30 and the duration a bit. I think it's good now, so I'm going to apply it to every beat drop. So these are the first 4 beat drops. I've gone ahead and reduced the speed a little bit to 30 on all of the effects, and I've increased the range by 10 every time a shake happens. These are really subtle details, but when you start to add these subtle details, they add up. And even though you might not notice, even if you pay attention, on a subconscious level, you realize that the music is intensifying, the beat is intensifying, and the shakes are intensifying. The difference between a good edit and a really good edit are the fine details, the slight little things that slowly add up to the video. This is the final result of the first 4 shakes. For the second Cavendish shakes, since there is a neon outline, I've already gone ahead and used this effect a lot in the past. And I know that a good shake involves also motion blur. That is another kind of effect. And this is how the final result turns out. It transitions into a black screen. And here I add another shake. Pretty simple because there is a beat drop. Here I have a double beat drop and another one here. Since there was a black screen here, I want to spice up the effects a bit, and instead of adding shakes, I'm gonna add flashes. How to add them? It's fairly simple. You go to Media, Library, pick the widescreen, you place it right where the beat drop is, and then you make it smaller. There we go. This should be enough. Then you scale it up so that it covers the whole clip. Put the opacity at around 70, 80, whatever you prefer. And then you go on Animation, Out, and click Fade Out. You put it for the whole duration of the clip, and then you copy and paste the effect. And this is the final result.
Speed start.
I think it matches pretty well with the effect that we added later. Therefore, I'm going to keep it. And now we move on to the last part of the edit. Here we have another black screen, so I'd say we change the shakes once more. For these beat drops, I've decided to go with a combo of normal shake effect with all the parameters on default because I think it fits pretty well, and a shake 3 that basically adds this kind of color to the image. And then I modified the last 2 effects, reducing to half both the speed and the range of the shake because the song is lowering in volume and is about to finish. Therefore, I want a shake that is less aggressive and more chill. I have also changed the order of the clips in order to make this clip fit with this beat drop so that the effect that we chose here, the shake, functions both as an effect and as a transition, as you can see. I am now going to show you the final product.
Those round things are called tires, and they go under the car.
You will have your chance, Guido. You will have your chance. Guido,
Ladies and
it's
gentlemen,
time.
Speed start.